Congressional leaders from both parties met at the White House with President Biden today as he seeks common ground, if he can find it, with Republicans on some of his big spending plans like infrastructure and jobs. Let's check in with our White House correspondent, Emerald Robinson, for the latest. Emerald.
Hi, Bob. Well, the meeting comes a couple weeks after Press Secretary Jen Psaki has suggested, when asked during a press briefing, that tens of millions of Americans didn't really care whether the president meets with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, suggesting that his bipartisanship didn't necessarily have to extend to Washington, D.C. But if he wants to get this infrastructure package passed with bipartisan support, then it will have to. So he did meet with congressional leadership today that included House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. Ahead of the meeting in the Oval Office, President Biden saying that he is open to negotiation.
What the bottom line here is, we're going to see whether we can reach some consensus on a compromise on moving forward. We're going to talk a lot about infrastructure today to see if there's any way we can reach a compromise that gets the people's work done and is within the bounds of everyone agreeing.
Some people have been skeptical that the Democrats will really pursue bipartisanships, considering they've already talked about possibly pushing through infrastructure via reconciliation. But the White House does plan to continue this bipartisan approach. There's another meeting scheduled for tomorrow with a bicameral group of senators that includes Republican Senators Toomey, Wicker, and Blunt. Now, they're still pretty far apart, the Republicans and Democrats. Specifically, McConnell and McCarthy came out to in front of the West Wing to talk to reporters, where they said it comes down to two issues for them: taxes and the definition of infrastructure. Listen.
Senate Republicans are not interested in revisiting the 2017 tax bill. I think the president and the vice president understand that. Beyond that, we're interested in trying to get an outcome. And I think the first step is obviously to define what infrastructure is.
Leader McCarthy also said that he took the opportunity to talk to President Biden about other issues outside of infrastructure, such as inflation. We've gotten those numbers today, and also the southern border, to which he's also visited, and the crisis going on down there. Bob, Heather.
There's also the GOP leadership this morning. Don't need to tell you, you were reporting on it, the Liz Cheney vote. And what's the latest on her replacement? Because they're not voting on a replacement. They didn't do that immediately. At least they haven't done it today.
Yeah, well, they've already put, Leader McCarthy's already given his endorsement to Representative Elise Stefanik. Now, there are some members of his caucus who aren't exactly thrilled about her, but there's really no one else that is, in line to do the job. So
hey,
it looks
Emerald,
like she will eventually be voted on and put in that place.
Emerald,
yeah.
Let me ask you about this. Amy Tarkanian, who is a frequent guest here on Newsmax, we just love having her. We probably have her sometime during the week.
Yeah, she's great.
She just tweeted something a few minutes ago. Rumors are swirling that Texas Representative Chip Roy is now considering stepping up to challenge Elise Stefanik for the GOP conference chair. Now, I'm just throwing that. I wouldn't expect you to know that, but the only reason that would make any sense at all to me is that they didn't immediately put Stefanik in. And there's something you pointed out all along, and that is Stefanik's voting record is not that conservative.
Exactly. Actually, Cheney had a probably better voting record for Republicans, but they just did not like it all. She was very pro the industrial military complex, but also she was very against President Trump, who is still the most popular person in the Republican Party. Now, this is presenting a conundrum for Leader McCarthy. What you don't see is that behind the scenes, a lot of his members are expressing discontent with him, questioning whether he is really the right person for the job as the leadership of Republicans in the House. So I asked him about that today. I asked him if he is concerned about his future in leadership.
Concerned about your future in leadership, given you protected Cheney for so long and missed earlier calls to remove her?
Not at all.
You're not concerned at all?
No, I'm looking forward to being Speaker in the next Congress. Thank you all very much.
Next question.
So
last question.
McCarthy telling me, yeah, that was the last question. He expressed confidence, but then he walked away.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's been a busy day there. And by the way, Cheney voted in line with the former President Trump 92.9% of the time, and Stefanik only 77%.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
big
And
difference.
then it depends on the issue also.
And if you look at the issues, then that would raise a red flag for a lot of folks. Thank you very much, Emerald.
Thanks, Emerald.
Thanks.
All right. Well,
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.